Hi class, this is Mr. Murphy. We're going to go over the new project I have for you in our professional portfolio unit. I have a cover letter project for you. You've completed, hopefully, the portfolio resume project. Hopefully you turned in your resume, which was due, which is due on Wednesday, March 12th, and uploaded your resume project answer sheet template. So all your answers for the project should be in there, and your resume should be uploaded. Now we're going to go over what a cover letter is, and I have a cover letter project here for you in our unit. And again, you will see two turn-in bins. First, the cover letter turn-in bin. That is where you're going to turn in the actual PDF file of your cover letter, completed cover letter tailored to you. And this is where you're going to turn in your cover letter project answer sheet, all the answers for the project, and both of those are due Wednesday, March 19th, and they're both worth 25 points each. So let's go over the cover letter project here, and it's downloading for us. I'm going to go through you step by step, slide by slide. I'm going to do an explanation of each slide, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I want you to look for. So obviously here we have the title slide, Professional Portfolio Cover Letter Project. Before you start, open up the answer sheet from Moodle, the answer sheet template, and I want you to rename your answer sheet template and put it in your Google Drive. Make it your name and then cover letter project so I can see that when you upload it. So on the next sheet, you're going to do these various things. Your ICANN statements for this one of them is the same. I can integrate multiple sources of information in order to make an informed decision to solve problems. You're going to be doing that as you go onto the various websites and videos, and you're going to read and look at different information in the videos in order to create your own cover letter. So that is how you're fulfilling that ICANN statement. Then you have 4 ICANN statements here. I can integrate and evaluate multiple sources of information from different media. So that again, that is the videos. But then you have 3 ICANN statements that are all about the writing, and the writing you're going to do in your cover letter. I can introduce a topic, organize complex ideas and concepts and information. So that each new element creates and builds cohesion. So in your cover letter, you're going to have a cohesive cover letter that all the information is organized in a certain way. You have certain pieces of information in there, and it's all going to build one on top of the other for the person who's going to be reading it. And you're going to establish and maintain a formal style. So you're going to write in a formal style, an objective tone, and make sure that you have the standard norms and conventions of writing. You want to use correct grammar, punctuation, spelling, all that kind of stuff. And you're going to use technology to produce and publish this and upload it to the turn-in bin. So in this project, you're going to do 3 things. You're going to learn about job interviews and various tips towards success. You're going to learn about resume cover letters and their uses, and you're going to compose and edit a resume cover letter that will be used in the interview. Remember, this is for the GM mock interviews that are going to be coming up next month. So before you read, here is your introductory question, your anticipation question, getting you ready for this. So I want you to imagine that you are a manager at a company and you need to hire a new worker. So you are the manager at a company, and your task is to look through a whole bunch of resume cover letters and interview about 10 different people for a position that you're going to hire for. What qualities and skills should the person you want to hire have? So what kind of employee do you want to hire for your company? And I want you to write a paragraph that describes this type of person that you want to hire. I want you to really put in there, what are the attributes, qualities that you want that person to have? You are going to be their boss. What type of person do you want to have? What kind of qualities in the job place do you want them to have? So think about that. I want you to write an entire paragraph, 5 to 7 sentences, that describe that type of person. So job interviews. On the next few slides, you're going to watch some videos and answer some questions and read this little cartoon that I have for you. I thought was kind of funny. So In a job interview, tips for job interview number one. This is going to be a video you're going to watch, and then you're going to answer these questions. What are ways a person can give a good first impression on an interview, and what should you wear to a job interview? What clothing should you avoid? This is the same video, tips for job interview two. So this is the same video here. Two more questions or a few more questions. What should you practice before you go into the job interview, and how? And why should you practice? And how do you show how hard a worker you are? So how do you show you are a hard worker in an interview to that person who is interviewing you? How do you expect to get across that you are a hard worker? So all those are in the video, all the answers to those questions. I have a new video here, mistakes to avoid during a job interview. I thought this was kind of a funny video here, but what 8 mistakes should you avoid during a job interview and why? Of the 8 mistakes, I forgot how to pronounce her name, but what 2 you are feeling most important? Of the 8 mistakes, what 2 do you think? So in this question, I want you to evaluate. She gave us 8 mistakes that you should avoid doing during a job interview. But of those 8, what are the 2 that you feel are most important? And give a couple of reasons why you think each are most important to avoid. So, what not to wear in a job interview. This actually was the funny one that I thought that you guys would like. According to the video, what 7 don'ts should you make sure you follow when going to an interview? So what are the don'ts that they explain? What 7 don'ts that they explain? And then according to the video, what should you do regarding dress when you go to an interview? So this is all about dressing the part when you go to a job interview. A good and bad interview. This video is going to show you 2 interviews. And it's going to show you one is a good interview, one is a bad interview. So I want you to kind of evaluate those 2 interviews, compare them, contrast them, describe some of the things the good interviewer did right, and describe some of the things a bad interviewer did wrong. And I want you to describe those in complete sentences. Now we have a resume cover letter. Here you're going to actually learn about resume cover letters, what they are. So here's a cover letter tutorial 1 video. And I want you to answer the question after you watch the video. What is a resume cover letter and what does it do? How many parts or sections are on the cover letter? Name and explain them all, please, in detail. Here, the same video. What should be on the opening paragraph of the cover letter? And then question 4, what should be in the second paragraph of the cover letter? What should you not do in that section? Writing the perfect cover letter. I've got another video for you, and then I've listed 5 questions for this video. What 3 things should you do on your cover letter according to tip number 1? What 4 things should you do according to tip number 2? What should you do in paragraph 2? What do you feel, what do you do in the final paragraph of your cover letter, and what is tip number 3? Why is it true? And then finally, this is the part where you're actually going to write your own cover letter. I've given you some links here on this slide. Here we've got about.com, gives you some information. And actually, I'm going to click that. I'm going to go to this. Here, if you scroll down, it kind of explains each section of a cover letter. So your contact information, okay? Employer contact information. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. It's going to give you the salutation, and that's what that is, the dear Mr. or Mrs. and then the last name. So when you're writing your cover letter, you want to tailor. Let's say you looked in online and saw that a job opening was coming up at a company. It's going to give you whom you should send your resume to. That would be that person, and then their title, and that so it could be Mrs. Maggie Smith, and their title could be hiring manager at Ford Motor Company, and then the address of that. So this is where you find information of the actual company that you're applying to, and then this is their name, Mr. or Mrs. So you want to be specific, and you want to tailor this cover letter to the person you're sending it to, who's going to be reading it. Now, you're getting a job interview just by a general person. You don't know who in this mock interview that we're going up, you're going to have, you don't know who you're going to be interviewed by. So I'm going to show you on a template what actually I want you to put here. because you won't be able to put any employer contact information. So this is going to be a general cover letter that you can use in the mock interview, but if you were actually applying to a real job that you saw, you would want to tailor it to that job. And then here's some information about the various sections. You've already learned about these sections in the videos, but I want you to read this information so you exactly know what you want, what should be in there. Okay, so here's some information, and it also gives you a couple links to free cover letter samples and templates. I've given you some links in the project, so I'm going to go back to the project and I'm going to go through that for you as soon as we get to it. We're going to go back to that section. Here it is, create your own resume cover letter. So this was the about.com letter info. This is the resume cover letter Google Doc template. Now this is a good temp. Actually, it's a couple. You know what? The link was wrong. I'm going to have to change that. I'll show you where I actually have that link for you in the on my Moodle page. All right, so don't worry about that. I actually have the correct link in the Moodle page. But then here we have Murphy's cover letter template, Google Doc. And if you click that, this will take you to the cover letter. All right, so this is a template. So what you would need to do is you would actually need to click on File, make a copy, and then that would be yours. Once you were signed in, click on File, make a copy, and then you could change that. You're going to put your name. You're going to put your address on there. You're going to put your phone number on there. You're going to put your email address on there. Make sure your email address is professional. You don't want to have, 2 chains at hotmail.com, or you don't want to have, Gmoney Tyron at whatever, okay? So you don't want some type of non-professional email address on there, okay? No hot babe at so-and-so. You want to have something professional that does not detract from who you are, or rather the professional person you want to be. Now, you're going to put the date that you're actually writing this cover letter, and then you can leave this on here, to whom it may concern. Now, if you were actually sending it to a real job, you would change this. Okay, if you were actually sending it, you would change it to the person, that the hiring manager, and you would put their name on there, whoever's name is in the job application. But here it just says, to whom it may concern. You can leave that. Now, if you look at this opening sentence, I've written that and left it in there. You can leave this opening sentence. It's an opening sentence that I use when I write my own cover letters. It says, please see this cover letter and resume as the initial step in my application for a job, or for the position of, and then I would put the position, like for the position of, cashier, for the position of, customer service representative. So this is a sentence. It's a good opening sentence that I use in my own cover letters, and you can use in yours. Here are your 3 places, different paragraphs. You're just going to basically type over this text, and then you're going to put your name down here. Leave enough space where you can sign the actual one once we print it up, okay? You're going to convert this to a PDF file and then upload it to the turn-in bin. So let's upload that to the let's look at the turn-in bin once we finish. But I'm going to go down to the end of the project, and then it's going to say, again, turn in your cover letter, all right, due Wednesday. And then the last page, or here's our reflection. 1 paragraph, reflect on the following questions, and I want you to write 1 paragraph for slide 17, and then project complete. You must turn in both the cover letter and project answer sheet, and here are some questions that I have for you, all right? So what I want you to do is, I'm going to go back to Moodle right now, and I'm going to show you this link. It's actually the link in the project that didn't work, and I'll fix that later, but it says resume and cover letter Google Doc templates link. I'm going to click on that, and that actually is going to take you to, it has more templates of resume. If you didn't like the first one you did, you could do a different one. It also has different cover letter, and this is the one we actually used, okay? But it's got different cover letters templates that you can use, and you can use any one of those